Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we are looking at my newest custom, which is ORO from Street Fighter. One of my least favorite Street Fighter characters, but I was commissioned to make him since they never made one in the soda line, so figured what the heck, let's go ahead and make him. It was kind of a fun project because it was a little bit unique, so we needed to have him have this kind of clothing, whatever you want to call that, with his arm tied behind his back, which was going to be kind of an interesting thing. I hadn't done anything like that before, so I thought that would be fun. And then he needed a new head, obviously, so I did that. But so the recipe for this guy is the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap body. Doesn't matter which one. We've had that body like 15 different times by now. So we use that. And then I used the two fist hands from Cyclops, the red and black Cyclops, and the feet from the Vision, the 3-pack Vision figure, the clear one, because we needed bare feet for ORO, which was something I was a little bit worried about when we started this project, because not too many figures have bare feet. But this base body actually worked out perfectly, and then the feet fit on that body, so that was good. And then, because he doesn't use a fist hand most of the time, at least for a more iconic pose like this one, I had to resculpt the hand, so I took the fist hand and cut off all of the right side, well, the left side of the hand, the right side if you're looking at it, and I gave him a thumb and two fingers that are pointed upward for his more iconic pose. And then I sculpted the head from scratch. Everything on the head is 100% brand new sculpt, so I had to add the wrinkles and all that kind of stuff, and I put the hair on there. Had to take a little bit of liberty with the hair just because it wouldn't stay on. I mean, practically speaking, if he were to be posed at all, the hair would just fall off if I put it on the way it was actually connected. So it's a little bit fuller than it probably should be, but I didn't really have a choice since I couldn't sculpt it and then mold a head. I don't have the ability to do that, the equipment to do that. So the hair's a little bit thicker than it should be, but I think it still conveys the right look. And then for the whole cloak, robe thing, whatever you want to call that, I sculpted the bottom half and then the top half separately so that the waist twist still worked. And how I did it was I just really rolled out a bunch of the green stuff, because the way that stuff sculpts, it works a little bit better for this kind of thing. And I made thin layers and I just draped it over like it would be if it was cloth, so that it would have all the proper wrinkles that it would need. And then I added the knot up here separately. I sculpted that separately. After the rest of this cured, I put that on and sculpted that. And then as that was curing, I sculpted this part with Super Sculpey and baked it, and I pushed that in to be the ties from the knot. By the way, the head was all sculpted with Super Sculpey. The hair is a combination of stuff. And then the lower part of the cloak thing is sculpted out of another combination of things that's actually flexible so that it won't break or anything if it gets bumped or chipped, or it won't chip if it gets bumped. So that'll be handy, and that's the same for the back on there. And I did it the same process as just rolling it out and then kind of shaping it and letting it cure, so that worked out. And then he needed the rope belt, and since it's a very small scale rope to be that size, I had to figure out a way to do that. I didn't want to actually take rope, and I didn't want to sculpt that for sure because it wouldn't look right. So I took some really fine coated wire and I braided it together to look like rope. Then I tied it into knots to look like it had been tied into knots, even though some of it's actually a little bit of a trick. It's not actually connected all as one piece. The ties are actually one piece, and then the part that goes around the waist is a separate piece, and I tied those together to look like a knot up there. And then I tied the knots down here, and then I painted it. So those are actually technically posable. They're bendable. I wouldn't go crazy on them because the paint still has to flex with the wire, and it will. But if you just try to tie them in knots or something now, obviously the paint will chip off. There's nothing I can do about that. But that was about it, and then I repainted everything, obviously, and the customer wanted it to kind of match the soda figure, so I had to go with the airbrush style of shading. So I just airbrushed all of the skin to have the yellow, and then I did the shading on there, and I did another layer of skin and another layer of shading to give it a real subtle effect. I hope it shows up on camera. I know with this really pale, bright yellow, it's going to be kind of harsh. I tried shooting this guy on white, and I tried shooting him on gray, and then I ended up going with the black just because it helped the details to show the best. It's just a really pale yellow, so it's hard to grab those details. And then same thing for the cloak. I painted that. I airbrushed that all with the red, and I added the darker purplish red shading on there. And then the belt I actually did by hand because there's no need to airbrush that. You couldn't tell anyway. So that's about it. And I did paint the eyes by hand also. But that's about it. I think that pretty much covers it. So you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, just in case you guys are curious, I used the Super Sculpey for the head. For the hair, it was Super Sculpey and green stuff, and then for the cloak, it was green stuff and Super Sculpey and green stuff. And oh, I also thickened up the neck a little bit with some epoxy sculpt. Oh, I'm saying the wrong thing. For the clothing, it was Fixit and green stuff, and then for the neck, it was Fixit, and then for the head, it was Super Sculpey. There we go. That's everything. The hand was also Super Sculpey. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this custom in the comment section below. Unless you don't like it, then you can just keep it to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to, go ahead. I don't care. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.